Dear ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life when we wonder if what we are doing really matters. We give our time, our energy, our prayers, our sweat, and sometimes we look around and it feels like no one notices. But I want to remind you today, your effort is never wasted. Every small step of faith, every late night of sacrifice, every act of kindness, every seed you sow, it carries a weight far greater than you can see. Because your effort does not just stop here on earth, your effort will echo in eternity. The choices you make today may look ordinary to you, but in the eyes of God they are extraordinary. Eternity hears what you do now. When you stand firm in your convictions, when you forgive instead of hate, when you love instead of judge, when you give even when no one sees, you are leaving ripples that stretch beyond this life. So don't minimize your role. Don't despise your process. Don't think that because the results are not immediate, your labor is in vain. What you carry inside you has eternal weight, and every effort you give in faith, in love, in perseverance, will be multiplied in ways you may never see in your lifetime. Today, I want to give you 10 powerful truths to hold on to, so you'll never forget that what you're doing matters, not just for now, but for forever. 10 key points of the speech: small actions today create eternal impact. Faithful effort is never wasted, even if unseen by others. Your sacrifices speak louder than your successes. When you love, serve, and give, heaven records it. Temporary struggles produce everlasting strength. What you build with integrity lasts beyond generations. Your perseverance is a testimony that inspires others eternally. Heaven magnifies every hidden act of faithfulness. Living for purpose, not applause, leaves a legacy that never fades. Your life, lived with effort and devotion, echoes in eternity's halls. When we think about the weight of eternity, it's easy to assume it belongs only to the grand gestures, the historic moments, or the names that end up written in books. But the truth is, eternity responds to the small actions we take today. Every word of encouragement you speak to someone who feels like giving up, every quiet moment you choose to pray when no one else is watching, every decision to take the high road when the low road seems easier, those things matter. They may look insignificant to you, but in the eyes of heaven, they carry a power that is immeasurable. Think of a seed. It's tiny, almost invisible when it falls into the ground. People may even step on it, overlook it, or forget it's there. But that seed is pregnant with potential. In the right season, it grows into something that bears fruit, shelters others, and creates more seeds that spread even further. That's what your effort does. Your acts of faith and consistency are not just isolated events. They are seeds that carry an eternal echo. They stretch far beyond the moment and reach into lives you may never meet. Sometimes you don't realize the magnitude of your actions until years later. Or maybe you'll never fully realize it on this side of eternity. A simple word you spoke in kindness could be the very thing that saves someone from giving up. A moment you chose integrity over compromise might set a chain reaction for generations after you. Eternity has a way of amplifying the small into the significant. What looks like just a little to you is often everything to someone else. We live in a culture that celebrates the big, the visible, the immediate, but the eternal doesn't work that way. Eternity is shaped by consistency, by faithfulness, by the small actions multiplied over time. When you wake up and keep going despite the odds, when you choose to stay faithful, even when it would be easier to quit, eternity takes notice. What others may never applaud, God engraves into a legacy that never fades. So, don't underestimate the power of what you're doing right now. Don't despise the small beginnings. Don't ignore the quiet choices you make in the hidden places of your life. Your actions, whether they feel massive or minuscule, carry eternal weight. They are not just moments, they are echoes, and they will ring louder and longer than you could ever imagine. Every effort you put forth is shaping something far bigger than the moment you're in. Too often we measure our lives by immediate results, by what we can see today, by what others applaud right now. But the truth is, much of the fruit of your effort won't show up immediately. It is being written in places you can't see, recorded in ways you don't realize, and stored in hearts you may never even meet. That's why you can't quit, just because you don't see the harvest yet. You have to trust that your effort is echoing into eternity even when silence surrounds you in the present. Think about the way sound works in a canyon. You shout a word, and for a moment you hear nothing. Then suddenly your voice comes back to you, bouncing off the walls, amplified, multiplied, reverberating longer and louder than you expected. That's how your effort works in life. What you sow into this world may feel like it disappears into thin air, but at the right time it comes back, louder, stronger, and reaching farther than you thought possible. The echo doesn't happen right away, but when it does, it proves that the sound was never lost. It was just traveling. Your sacrifice, your late nights, your unseen discipline, your choices to forgive when it would have been easier to hold a grudge, all of those things are traveling through time, through generations, through eternity. One day they will echo back, not just in your life, but in the lives of your children, in the people you inspire, in the stories that are told long after you're gone. You may think you're just working hard for a paycheck, just showing up to take care of your family, just being kind in a cruel world. But eternity sees it differently. Heaven sees someone building a legacy. Heaven sees someone choosing to plant seeds of faith that will bear fruit forever. And here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to wait for applause to know your effort matters. The applause of eternity is already assured. The echo of your labor is already being written. Every tear you've cried in prayer, every battle you've fought in silence, every day you've chosen to persevere when no one else believed in you, those things are not wasted. They are the very building blocks of an eternal story that will outlive you. So, the next time you feel overlooked, the next time you feel like no one notices how hard you're trying, remember this: eternity notices. What you do is never forgotten, never meaningless, never in vain. The echo may not be immediate, but it is inevitable. Your effort is not just for today, it is being woven into something everlasting. There comes a point in life where we all wonder, does what I'm doing even matter? Maybe you've asked yourself that when you've been working hard behind the scenes, carrying responsibilities no one thanks you for, or fighting battles no one else can see. And in those moments, it's easy to feel like your effort is too small, too insignificant, too hidden to make any kind of difference. But here's what you need to understand. There is no such thing as wasted effort when it's done with the right heart. What may seem ordinary to you can be extraordinary in the scope of eternity. Think about it. Great monuments aren't built in a day. They're built brick by brick, stone by stone, and the person laying the very first stone may never live to see the final masterpiece. Yet without that first stone, the monument would never stand. That's how your effort works. Every small act of faith, every single day you choose to keep going instead of giving up, every prayer whispered in the dark, every kind word you speak into someone's life, it's a stone being laid in a structure that will stand long after you're gone. It may feel small to you, but in eternity's eyes it's irreplaceable. And here's the reality. Most of the world only sees the finished product. They celebrate the victories, the big moments, the breakthroughs. But God sees the process. He sees the grind, the sweat, the tears, the countless hours when nobody was watching, and those are the things He honors. Those are the things that echo. It's not always the stage moment that defines you. It's the hidden choices, the unseen sacrifices, the silent battles. That's where eternity is being written. When you encourage that one person who's struggling, you may not see how far your words travel, but they may carry that encouragement for years. When you choose to stand firm in your integrity at work, even when everyone else cuts corners, you may not get recognized, but you've sent a ripple into eternity. When you refuse to quit even though it would be easier to walk away, you are declaring to the universe that faith is stronger than fear. Your life is like a ripple in water. One drop creates circles that expand outward, far beyond where the drop hit. You may think your effort is just a drop, but eternity shows it's a ripple that keeps moving, keeps touching, keeps reaching. And the beautiful part is, those ripples don't die out. They grow, they expand, they intersect with others, and together they create waves that shift entire oceans. So don't underestimate the power of what you're doing right now. Even if no one claps, even if no one notices, even if no one says thank you, eternity is recording it. The echo of your effort may not bounce back to you today, but it will resound across time, across generations, across eternity. And when you finally see the full picture, you'll realize that every single act, no matter how small, was part of something much bigger than you could imagine. Sometimes we underestimate the weight of our consistency. We live in a culture that celebrates quick results, overnight success, and instant recognition. But true impact, the kind that reaches into eternity, is not built overnight. It's built over time in the slow, steady rhythm of faithfulness. When you show up every single day, when you keep giving your best even when there will be times when your effort feels invisible, like no one notices the sacrifices you're making, the hours you're putting in, or the battles you're fighting silently behind closed doors. But just because people don't see it doesn't mean it's wasted. Every seed sown in faith, every act of kindness, every moment of perseverance, every decision to do what's right when it would have been easier to compromise, none of it disappears. It all echoes into the future. Think of it like sound waves. When you shout into a canyon, your voice may fade in your ears, but the echo travels, bouncing off places you cannot see. In the same way, your effort is leaving ripples in lives and places you may never fully realize. Sometimes, that effort will echo into the life of a child who watches you push through adversity and learns resilience from your example. Sometimes, it echoes into the heart of a stranger who never forgets the kindness you showed them in their lowest moment. And sometimes it echoes in ways that circle back to you years later, as an unexpected reward for faithfulness you had almost forgotten. This is why you cannot allow discouragement to silence your effort. Your consistency today is writing a story tomorrow. Your dedication today is shaping a future you might not yet see. So don't stop. Don't let the silence trick you into believing your work is in vain. Even when applause is absent, even when recognition is delayed, keep pouring yourself into the work, because eternity remembers what the world often overlooks. Your effort is never just for today. It is an eternal investment, a legacy that will outlive you and inspire generations you may never meet. Keep building, keep pushing, keep striving, because the echo of your effort will sound far longer than the moment of your struggle. Would you like me to also expand this key point with real, life biblical, style stories like David, Joseph, or Ruth in the same motivational tone, so it feels even more powerful and relatable?